Hey, it's Brian Mudd. This is my cheat sheet for Wednesday, November 21st. So we get ready for Thanksgiving, some things to consider. There's actually quite a bit going on. But first, let me start with what not to buy on Black Friday. As you head out, or perhaps more likely your wife heads out to engage in the Black Friday specials, here's the stuff to wait for. First of all, the high-end TVs. We all know that you got all kinds of teaser, lower-end TVs out there. You can buy for $150 or something. But the high-end HG TVs, they are actually not going to be at their best price until the new year. They end up getting discounted the most, whatever's left in January. So if you want to buy a really nice high-end TV, wait until January. Jewelry. Jewelry is actually more expensive by the time you get to this time of the year, all the way through the holidays. The best time to buy jewelry is not around any holidays at all. Oftentimes around summer you'll find the best prices. So unless you find something really special that you want to have, the odds are you're not going to be getting the best price no matter how good the discounting is anytime during the holiday shopping season. Winter clothes, another one. If you think about it, a lot of times, and we can all fall victim to this from time to time, you're just out and so you see things that you want to buy, clothing, especially in season. It's never going to be discounted as much, and you probably know this, as it would be once you get into January or so, and already stores are beginning to look to push out winter merchandise so they can begin building those spring stockpiles. So anyway, just a few things to think about in terms of what not to buy. Now, here's something you need to consider before the end of the year. If you have money that you want to give to family, have you considered estate taxes? One of the big tax increases set to hit as part of the end of the Bush-era tax policy, and something else that's likely not to stay the same, even if there is some kind of temporary or even permanent fiscal cliff resolution, it's state taxes. The estate taxes under the Bush-era tax policy raised the limit on what you could end up sending to family to $5 million. And then the tax on estates from there went from 55% down to 35% above $5 million. Well, as of January 1st, guess what it goes down to? $1 million. Only $1 million is exempt. So any property, any real estate, anything that is given to friends, family in excess of $1 million will be taxed at 55%, most likely come January 1st. Again, unless somehow or another this is saved as part of the fiscal cliff. And it looks right now, based upon the talks, that that's not a terribly likely scenario. So with your tax planner, with your financial advisor, this might be that opportunity to where if there are assets, money to move around, you take a real serious and hard look at that, because there's a dramatic difference that could be coming very soon. All right, couple things here real quick. First, Amazon's app update for the iOS. This is kind of cool. If you order stuff on Amazon during the holidays or anytime going forward on the iOS now, it's going to tell you, it'll give you an alert when it ships, and it'll give you an update right on the app as to where it is in process. This is something that eBay has already been doing on its app, but Amazon will now be on board with. The anonymous situation. Let's talk about this for a second. The hacker organization, the really sophisticated terrorist network, maybe the biggest in the world, Anonymous, actually is now known to have been hacking and trying to cause disruption within the Israeli government during this whole conflict in Gaza. So you've got Anonymous that is siding with Hamas and terrorists that want to eliminate Israel. At the same time, Anonymous has taken credit for taking down Get Out the Vote computers associated with Republicans all across the country. So let's get this straight. Anonymous sides with Democrats, so they tried to disrupt American elections. They side with Hamas and the terrorists as they are battling Israel. So what side are these terrorists on? And where are we in terms of identifying Anonymous as international terrorists and hunting them down that way? Seem a little strange to you that they're allowed to interfere with U.S. elections and you don't hear a word one out of Washington? A little weird that in the midst of the conflict that's going on in Israel, they're going after Israeli government computers. We don't say word one about it. It's a little food for thought there. And lastly, let me hit on the unemployment situation by the states real quick. 37 states did actually, in the most recent data coming out of October, 37 states did actually see a decrease in unemployment. Florida, we pretty much stayed static at about the 8.5% range. North Dakota continues to be ridiculously strong, the best unemployment situation in the country at 3.1%. The bottom line is, because we do have states between 3% unemployment and well over 10% unemployment, it really doesn't matter where you live in this country anymore. All you have to take a look around is what California did to itself, voting an income tax of up to 13%, and you can see that some states are just set for failure. I'm not advocating just moving for the heck of it. I've heard Glenn Beck kind of say, hey, you need to kind of gather together. Look, moving is a very big deal, and sometimes your career just doesn't make sense to do so almost no matter where you are. But the reality is, just as we've seen this country change dramatically, and so much uncertainty over the long-term prosperity and future of this country has been changed by the composition of Washington, there's a lot of control that can happen within states themselves. And there's certainly some states that are getting it right. There's certainly some states that are absolutely destroying themselves. Whatever the situation. And there are a lot of people outside of Florida that go to the cheat sheet. In fact, hundreds a day from outside of Florida that go to this cheat sheet. Something for you to think about. How smart is your state operating? Because that could end up determining your financial future as much as anything. I mean, the taxation situation from property all the way through income tax at your state level can make a tremendous difference. And remember, elections have consequences, not just in Washington, but sometimes who's on the HOA board or who your HOA president is can make as much or more of a difference to your pocketbook as anybody else that gets elected in a Washington office. I've seen it firsthand. So you got to take all of that into account when you're making decisions about your long-term future these days. That is the cheat sheet for today. I really do wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving. We will see you on Monday.